Hi, everybody! No Stan Lee this time in this episode, okay? Why? Because, in all honesty, I don't really know how to address this movie. And I really couldn't find a way to incorporate Stan or anything really funny into this review. So, I have a lot to unpack with this movie. And by the way, I didn't wear this shirt to watch the movie to the into the theater to watch this movie. I should have. I didn't think about it until I, pulled it out to wear it for this review. I'm like, dang it. So, but anyway, I have Kung Fu action. I just appropriated another culture. I'm sorry. And I have Light Up Laser Blast. Whoa! I'm Buzz Lightyear. Take that, Zurg. No! But those old toy commercials, man, they were cheesy, but when you look back at them, they were fun and they were funny. I mean, and they did their job. They got us to buy the product. So, anyway, as I mentioned, I don't know how to address this movie. Let's start off with the story first, okay? A little synopsis of the story. Anyway, Space Rangers, they are tasked with different missions. This mission in particular with Buzz and his friend and a rookie, I can't even remember what the young lady name is now, but they are given a mission to find habitable planets so they can colonize them. Okay, so Buzz and again the young lady and the rookie are piloting this giant ship that houses several, who knows how many people are in there. They're all cryogenically frozen. Let it go. Not that kind of frozen, but kind of like like how Fry is in Futurama and how Nora Freeze, Mr. Freeze's wife, is in Batman the Animated Series. They're cryogenically frozen in suspended animation. So they find a planet, and on this planet they get onto the planet and they scout it out, and they find out that it's habitable, but they find out later that it's that it's not habitable because of the life, the plant life, the bug life. Bug's life. Boy, there's a lot of stuff in here that I didn't realize until now. So anyway, here's the part where I don't know what to say, if I should break my own rule or not in as far as this movie goes. Tell you what, all right, I'm gonna reveal a spoiler. And I'll put a time code down at the bottom so that way if you want to skip it, you can skip it. All right. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here's a spoiler. All right. You going? Great. Because of Buzz's they try to escape the planet, and because of Buzz's hubris, and because of his stubbornness, and because of his one-track mind, he refuses help, and they end up marooned on the planet because of his mess up. So a year goes by, and they've colonized the planet a little bit and made it more habitable, things like that, to protect themselves. They've grown used to it, and they're developing this fuel source to try to get to the point to where they're able, their spacecraft is able to jump into hyperspace. Okay, Buzz is the test pilot. So he's going in and out into space to try to test these new fuel sources and these new combinations of fuels, basically. So I'm gonna let the movie, if you decide to watch the movie, I'm gonna let you go ahead and let the movie tell you what happens next, basically. But the movie is essentially a revelation of how the Buzz Lightyear action figure basically got the accessories that got the not the accessories, but the accoutrements that it got. Again, like the karate chop action, the light up lasers, the wings, and everything else. It shows and introduces Zurg as well, basically. So, and how Zurg became an enemy. So that's essentially what it is. Now, the word is both on the inside of the industry, on the outside of the industry, that this is the movie that Andy watches that prompts him to buy a Buzz Light, to want a Buzz Lightyear toy. All right. Me personally, I think that was a bad idea. Here's where I'm having a lot of issues, okay? Um, Toy Story should have ended with Toy Story 3. Now, there are those who disagree with me. There shouldn't have been a 4, and this shouldn't have happened either, all right? I wasn't excited for it, but I was really interested because of the animation aspect of it. I mean, more realistic take on Buzz Lightyear, and looking at how realistic it actually looks. As a person instead of a cartoon character or a toy, basically. So, this shouldn't have happened. There's a comic strip panel that has been going around for several years now online, where there's this farmer. He's carrying several buckets, and he's going to his cow to milk it, obviously. But the problem is the cow is skin and bones, and the people put the franchise of on the cow, and they put the logo of the company on the farmer, meaning what? That they're milking the franchise dry now at this point. So I mean, it's just like that one time in that one Simpsons episode where the kid goes, "Stop, stop, he's already dead." So that's what this is. They're killing this thing, and that's what's so disappointing about this. This movie was not necessary. It's just like, oh my God, you're killing. Remember when Pixar used to be about story and animation, and it had nothing to do with star power. Although there were star power celebrities in it, it didn't matter. They were concentrating on story over everything, and technologically pushing animation forward. So that's why this hurts so much. Now, not every Pixar movie has to be, oh, it touches the heart and you start crying. I mean, I've cried at the beginning of Up so many times. I mean, and every time I think I'm going to make it through, it's like, nope. So, this is, they should just retire Toy Story at this point. Let it live out the rest of its life in memories, in people, basically, in people's minds, basically. Right now they keep tainting this, and the reason why I brought up the idea of spoiling, of revealing a spoiler, is because in this it seems like they're making Buzz out to be almost like incompetent, to a not completely, by any, to be honest, but to a certain degree incompetent, because he's so stubborn, and it almost and he's almost not a bad guy, but look, I know heroes are flawed, people are flawed, we're not perfect, I get it, and the reason why we love the majority of our heroes is because they are flawed and we can relate to them in some form or fashion. Okay, with Buzz, with this version of him anyway, they almost make him seem like he is obsessed, but to a point to where he's almost a little too driven into, and which causes him to be a little incompetent, or almost, or a little bit like a bad guy. Not a bad guy. I don't know how to explain it though. But anyway, it seems like that's what they're doing. I mean, it's the same thing with Luke Skywalker. It's the same thing with the Terminator. It's the same thing with all of these redemptive arcs and characters are being spoiled. Okay, and that's what I think I'm kind of so disappointed in with this. Again, it's not horrible, but it is bad, and to a certain degree. Now, in my honest opinion, instead of going with this, I think they should have stuck with this. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. This is the animated movie that introduced the series, a TV series, basically. I still have the VHS version of this. Kids, if you don't know what VHS is, ask your parents or Google it. You'll find out. But anyway, this developed Buzz, the series, not just this movie, but the series developed Buzz a heck of a lot more. I almost said it. A heck of a lot more than this movie did, in all honesty. It expanded upon it. I think they even took a few cues out of this show and added it into the movie, because he has sidekicks in this movie that are rookies, and he has sidekicks as well in this movie as well. And you had Booster, XR the robot and Miranova, and Zurg was there, of course. He was a funny character in that show. I really liked that character in that show, and he wasn't an everyday baddie in the show, but they had new characters like Nos 482, play on words, Nosferatu, Nos 482, and Gravitina, characters like that. So it was actually very well done and very well developed. A lot of people complained about the idea of, well, why is it hand drawn 2D? But you get over that, in all honesty. It's no different than the Muppet Babies cartoon from the 80s. A lot of people complain, why didn't they use real Muppets and have Muppeteers do it instead of it being hand drawn? But the show worked extremely well. Fantastic show. I still consider it one of the best cartoon shows ever made, way ahead of its time. Anyway, I think this is what they should keep this as what's inspired Andy to get a Buzz Lightyear toy. And a lot of people will say, well, it was back during our day, there were always shows based on toys. Cartoons based on toys. You had tons of them. And a lot of people will complain, oh, they were only 30-minute toy commercials. No, one, they were 22-minute toy commercials because you take out the commercials. And number two, so what? Oftentimes, what would happen? See, animation is very time-consuming and very expensive. So a lot of the times, buying toys is what paid for more episodes of that particular series. So if you wanted more episodes, new episodes of that series, guess what? You buy the toys. So if I'm not mistaken, that's what happened. That's why Justice League Unlimited got an extra season when they ended it with the previous season. They kind of ended it with the previous season. But because the Justice League Unlimited toys sold so well, it funded another season. So there's nothing wrong with that. So what? So I think it would have been better. Okay, Mom, look at that on TV. I gotta have a toy of it. Cool. Instead of having it be this movie that inspires him to buy a Buzz Lightyear toy. I get it. There's a disconnect here that, this doesn't take place in the Toy Story world, but there is a connection there. It is within the Toy Story world in a sense. So, that's kind of my gripes about those, that part of it. The animation, not going to talk about it because, again, it's nothing new. It's nothing different from what we've seen before. It's the standard now. The voice acting, let's get to that because that is a hot button issue. Obviously, of course, Tim Allen is not in the movie as the voice of Buzz Lightyear. Now, everyone and anyone will say, well, it's because, it's a different Buzz, which I can agree with that. I can buy that because oftentimes when you have toys based off of a movie and the characters are voiced by celebrities, they're not going to do the voice of the character as a toy. 9 times out of 10, they'll get a voice actor who will match the voice to record lines for the toy. Oftentimes that's what happens. So I can buy that to a certain extent. That's not a complaint for me. It sucks. I don't like it, but I get it. It makes sense. Okay, cool. Some people may say that it's because Tim Allen's too old. Some people may say it's because of Tim Allen's politics or whatever. I don't know. I'm not there. It is what it is at this point, okay? It's disappointing, but it is what it is. The other thing is, as far as voice actors go, there are celebrities in here, and then unfortunately, I honestly don't know celebrities as much as I used to, and I don't really care. Unless they're in a Marvel movie or a DC movie, I really don't care. Chris Evans, obviously I know him because he's Captain America and in the MCU, and I think here's the thing about the voices in this movie. I really do think that these people didn't audition for the parts. I really do think that they were just given the parts out of convenience. Steve Evans is in the recording studio recording ADR or replacement lines for movies, and that often happens in movies where an actor will record a line and it doesn't come through or something messes up, or so they'll go to the recording studio and they'll re-record the line, and they'll record impact grunts. Impact grunts meaning getting hit basically, or landing when you jump basically. So he's already in the studio. Why not use him and have him record star in this movie and record some lines for us, and it'll be cheaper, because recording lines in a movie is cheaper, paying the actor a little bit of a cheaper salary than actually, him and her being on screen. Same thing with Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer is a character in this movie as well. She's the voice of Penny Proud on the Proud Family. She's already in the recording studio recording lines. Get her to record lines for this. Taika Waititi, who's in this movie as well. He's the guy who directed Thor: Love and Thunder and Thor: Ragnarok. He's also the voice of the rock creature, Thor's friend. And so he's already in the recording studio. Have him record some lines for this character, basically. I really do think that it's just a matter of convenience that they were the right characters, people for this job. For this part. So, let's talk about the other hot button issue. The LGBTQIA plus part of this argument. Me personally, I really don't care. Okay, I'm very indifferent about this. Look, live your life the way that you want to. Just don't tell me how to live my life. All right. So, it's within the first 30 minutes of the movie. It's not really a big deal, in my honest opinion. Now, if you don't like it and don't want to have anything to do, that's fine. I'm not gonna fight anyone over something as minuscule as this. If you do want it and you like it and you want to see it and you agree with it or whatever, that's fine. I don't care. Again, I'm not gonna fight over anyone. I honestly and truthfully don't care. But I understand this is a hot button issue, especially now because of all of the things that have gone on in Florida, between Florida and Disney, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, blah, 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 yakety schmackety. Okay, so what? Who cares? At this point, I'm thinking that they use this garbage as a publicity stunt for the movie, basically. Oh, it's tied with this issue. Go see it. Whether you support it or not, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. But it doesn't matter at this point. Most people, I think, for the most part, accept it or just plain don't care about it. I think members of the LGBTQIA plus community, honestly, at this point, a good chunk of them probably don't even care about it at this point. So it's not a big deal for me, and it may not be a big deal for you. If it is, no big deal. I don't care. So other than that, that's it. Some of you may have grown up with this Toy Story franchise, and you may feel like you have to watch this movie because it's part of it, or it has something to do. There are some connections to it. I would honestly say, don't worry about it. You're not missing anything, in all honesty. Me personally, I would skip this movie. If you really have to see it, if you really want to see it, at least again save some money, matinee it. But overall, I would say skip it and wait until it goes on Disney Plus, on streaming for Disney Plus in a couple of months. So save yourself some time and some money. If you don't have Disney Plus, you know what? Hey, go watch it over at someone else's house, or if I don't know if this series exists on Disney Plus, watch this. Or if neither the movie, if you don't have Disney Plus, or if this series is not on Disney Plus, I don't encourage it, but hey, you know what? Sail the high seas and do that. So anyway, that's it. If you have any agreements or disagreements, let's have a conversation about it. Maybe you feel differently than I do about this. Okay? So leave a comment down below or contact me on Facebook or whatever, and let's talk about it. All right? If not, cool. That's about it. So see you next time. Oh, and one more thing. I forgot to mention any of this during my review, so I'm tacking it at the end of my review because I don't want to reshoot the whole video again just to bring it up, and let's just call this a PS. So, PS, not PlayStation, but PS. There are a couple of positive things that I should mention about this movie. Just a few things. One of them is that there are two messages that I think that you can take away from this. The first one being, as I mentioned before, Buzz has this issue of going it alone and doing everything himself, being a control freak, basically. One message is no man's an island, which I admit I have a problem with as well. I have an issue with asking for help or taking help from others, and that's a good thing to really get across to the audience. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to go it alone. The second message I think that is that you can take away from this is live your life. Enjoy it, and enjoy the people who are around you. Don't waste it and throw it away. And I think that's something that anyone and everyone can relate to and can take away from this as well. The second positive thing is the Robo Kitty. I forgot to mention him. Socks, the cat. S-O-X, not S-O-C-K-S. But Socks, the cat. He's a robot cat. And he's cute, and he's actually pretty funny in all of this. So I have to admit, if there's a toy of him out there, and I mean like a figure, not like a stuffed animal or anything like that, but like a figure that I can add to my collection, I'm definitely getting him. So the other thing that I did forget to mention is there is a mid-credit scene. There is a post-credit scene, but there is also a post-logo screen. Let's just call it that. TM, trademark. And what I mean by that is after the post-credit scene, after the Walt Disney Pictures logo goes by, and after the Pixar lamp does its thing, there is one final scene at the very, very end of the movie, which indicates there may be a sequel. Hopefully not. I still stand by my my verdict on this movie. I think, in all honesty, you should just, again, if you really, really, really have to see it, and that's really have to see it, save yourself some money. Go to a matinee, or I would say even further, go to the Dollar Theater, or, like I said, just wait a few months until it's on Disney Plus and just do it that way. So that's about it. So, and guess who I found? Greetings, true believers! Yeah, I found him. So, nah, just admit it. You just knew that this video wouldn't get enough views if I wasn't in it. Yeah, you're right. We couldn't do this video without you, Stan. That's right. So, anyway, from the both of us, until next time, Excelsior! Excelsior. Enough said.
Calling Buzz Lightyear, the galaxy's greatest hero. Skilled, courageous, and ever vigilant. Leaping into action, Buzz Lightyear hurtles to the rescue. His ongoing mission to protect the universe from the dark forces of evil. These are the adventures of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.